Melissa from Kiwi Banana, and today I'm going to talk to you about an opportunity that I got to speak with a reporter for a newspaper. So a newspaper is called the Ashburton Guardian, and I got contacted by a reporter there, and she wanted to interview me to do a piece just about animal welfare. This was kind of in light of some of the media exposure that some organisations were involved in that were put out at the end of last year. I've done a few videos sort of talking about it a little bit in my channel. You may be able to go back through. I can put some links in the description box down below for further information. So anyway, she had contacted me in light of this, and she wanted to do a piece on animal welfare. As some of you may know, I don't necessarily promote animal welfare. I more or less promote animal rights, animal liberation. However, I don't know how to put this, but that sort of standpoint can be really extreme in many people's eyes who are farmers. So, you know, I thought, well, I might as well contribute to this, because I do still care about animal welfare. I just want them to have more than, you know, I want them to be cared about more than just their welfare. You know, I'm against all exploitation of animals, to put it simply. So here's the newspaper anyway here, and so as the Ashburton Guardian, this is a farming section, and they have a small town of about 50,000 people, and there's more just on the outskirts because it is very much a farming town, and a lot of the farming is actually based around dairy farming. I'm not sure how she come across me or who recommended her to her, but you know, as we were talking, I said, look, I guess I could be a really good person to put in this article. I've worked in dairy farms, I've worked in slaughterhouses, and I did those jobs when I lived in that area. So anyway, so this front page was really cool because the section here, I love this section, just this little part here, and so she she interviewed one of the guys that was involved in an organisation to do with the media exposure, and there was quite a bit about that. And then she spoke with a CEO of a large corporation, a large company. So spoke a couple of pages with him about that, and then she also did an interview with a minister who's supposed to be in charge. It's Minister of Primary Industries, who's generally in charge of things like this, you know, what goes on in dairy farming. And just to recap, the media exposure was sort of going into the fact that, you know, bobby calves, you know, or calves are taken away from their mothers quite young in order for us to have the milk, and it also went into a little bit of the slaughterhouse behaviour and also the moving of the calves. So between the farm and the actual slaughterhouse, there was quite a lot of abuse involved there. So anyway, and then it comes to my section, and she's titled it as The New Young Consumer, and unfortunately I can't leave a link to the actual article or the online version of this newspaper because you need a subscription in order to obtain it. So I had to hunt down, get in contact with a few people to see if I can get some copies. But so this is, no, wrong section. This is the section here. So this is basically her. She interviewed me. Now, she was supposed to email me before she sent this out, but she didn't. And sorry, stop recording then. So her excuse for not emailing me is because she was holding off on releasing this piece, and she was away. However, her other colleagues just went ahead and published it. So my name's spelt wrong, which is, that's fine, that's no problem. I mean, it makes it harder for anyone who dislikes what I've said to go out and find me online. and, you know, try and dish abuse at me, which, you know, it comes anyway, just having a presence like this online. So yeah, so it's the key points are not that great. I guess that's probably to do with the fact that maybe, you know, she hadn't finished really writing up what she wanted to say. I had a few other people read it who are not vegan. They don't really have much of an interest in animal welfare or anything, so they're not really interested in you know, one side or the other. But these people that I talked to, they said it was quite good, and I can leave maybe some quotes or something that she's written down below. Yeah, I think it's reasonably neutral. I'm not pushing a vegan agenda on too hard. I wasn't even going to tell her that I was vegan, and it just kind of slipped out. It's a bit unexpected. It just kind of slipped out, and so I thought, oh, well, right, well, I've said it's too late, we'll just go with it. And when I spoke with my partner, he was like, well, if you didn't say you were vegan, then the whole piece probably wouldn't really make much sense anyway. So yeah, just sort of just letting you know some other types of activism that you can do. You know, the good old newspaper that's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. Don't have to, you know, I know we like using social media, it's great because it means you can get, you know, a whole young generation, which much more open and easier to talk about topics like this. You know, it's a lot harder once you start to try and talk to someone who's, you know, 60 plus. It's almost like being your head against a brick wall. But, you know, they still need to know that we are out there. And let me know if you've tried any sort of newspaper activism or had any exposure like this before. I know it's, you know, the TV is a pretty big one out there, but I think it's a lot harder to be able to speak or get the opportunity to speak on TV about these sort of topics, although it has been done before. So yeah, leave your comments and questions, or just say hello down below in the comments section, and I'll see you all in the next video. Hope you've done something that makes you happy today. See ya!